What's up, everyone? Michelle Alexandria coming at you with the vlog thingy, and I just want to talk a little bit about my 4K pickups that I've done. So as me, I don't think I told you all that I went out and bought a brand new Panasonic UBP 820 player, $500 Blu-ray player. And actually, I'm going to end up returning that simply because I don't really need a $500 4K Blu-ray player. But before I do that, I'm going to shoot a bunch of videos on it. I'm going to show you the menu settings, do a review, and maybe do a comparison to the Sony X700 player. If I didn't already have the X700 player, then I would keep the Panasonic player. But I don't need two UHD players, and I'm tired of buying the same crap over and over again just because one may be slightly better or whatever. So in that respect, I'm going to try to do some comparison videos and some comparisons over the weekend. And in order to do that, I actually went back out to my favorite rental company, 3D Blu-ray rental store.com, and I rented a bunch of 4K movies. And the reason why I love this service is the service for $27.99. You get to check out 3 movies a week and up to 10 movies a month. And the one thing about the service is it's not sophisticated enough to kind of tell when your stuff is being shipped. So what they end up doing is they end up shipping everything in your queue at one time or whenever it becomes available. So right now I have like 15 movies here that I have to go through, and actually I have to start sending some of this stuff back because they're going to end up charging me money. So this weekend I'm going to be watching a lot of 4K stuff as I continue to go down and check out this Panasonic player. Now, and I'm going to try to get better about reviewing 4K movies. The problem is I just haven't figured out how best to do it. The only way I can really do it is like this, and me in the raw, in the buff. Maybe I'll flip my shirt up so you can see my breasts. But anyway, I'm just kidding. But the problem is whenever I do show clips or even images these days, YouTube's copyright striking is out of control, and it gets copyright strike. And it's especially galling since the studios ask me to review this stuff. They send me the clips and they still get copyright strike when I click that publish button. So that's annoying. So with all of that said, here we go with my collection that I have right now. So we're going to start it off with Hereditary. Now, I'm not a huge fan of horror movies, and I always say this, but when I watch a horror movie, I actually end up coming away loving it. And I always say, as a critic, you don't have to go when we're human. We have our biases when we walk into a theater, and I try to pick things that I know I'm going to like. So that's why my reviews always kind of seem a little glowy. But I don't go and see stuff that I don't think I'm going to like, unless I'm just really bored that night. And I haven't seen Hereditary, but that's kind of how I am about most horror films, where I'm like, well, I'm kind of bored. I think I'll go see the Halloween screening or something, and I come away really loving it. And for me, I always say, it's you as a human being are going to have your biases. But if the movie's really good, it's going to change your mind. You're going to end up either liking it or loving it. And that's it. I mean, a good movie will make you change your mind about your bias. That's what I always say. So I'm really looking forward to watching Hereditary. And like I said, I'm not a huge horror fan, but I will watch it whenever the mood strikes me. I just won't go out of my way to watch a horror story. So we have that, and then we have The First Purge. And for some reason, I have all these horror movies, and I'm like, what's going on? Why am I picking so many horror movies? And I'm like, oh, it's October. That's why all these horror movies are coming out. So I had The First Purge, and then we have Halloween 4K to keep up with the theme. Halloween 4K, and tomorrow I'm actually scheduled to use my AMC A-list, and I'm going to go see Venom. I'm going to do a double feature of Venom and A Star Is Born, and I hope to do a review of those in the next couple of days. Because the problem is, being here in Florida, there are critic screenings, but the theater's over 60 miles from our house. That's ridiculous. So I'm not going to go 65 miles to see a movie, and especially if most of the screenings are held the day or two before opening day. What's the point at that point? I really miss DC, the DMV. Someone buy me a give me a job back home and I'll move back home. I kind of hate Orlando. And so anyway, we have Deadpool 2. And again, this is kind of like the whole Solo situation where Fox promised me a 4K copy of Deadpool 2. And it actually gave me the digital code, and I believe I did a review of the Dolby Vision version of Voodoo based on the code that Fox gave me. But I also wanted to check it out on the old physical media. So I'll probably just spot check this one and tell you about it on next week sometime. And then we had Jurassic World. I actually did not see this in the movie theater at all. I've never been a huge fan of the Jurassic World series, never. I mean, they're okay, but they're not my go-to. I really want to see a movie before it came out. And look at that. I'm not going to get up to get that. So then we have Sicario, Day of the Soledad 4K just came out. And I wasn't a huge fan of the first one, so I never really had any intention of seeing this. But because of the 4K rental service I have, I'm like, okay, why not? I'm going to pick it up. And then, yeah, like I said, Solo. And then we have the X-Men movie. And this is when I do a little mini rant, but again, I'm not a ranter. I don't want to get into whole drama, and I just want to stay in my little corner of the world, have my little opinions, and move on with life. But the one thing that drives me nuts about fanboyism is the fact that people obsess over one little thing that they don't like, and it gets blown up into this entire thing. So, or they have collective amnesia. Like, remember when the first X-Men came out? This was a criminally underrated movie, in my opinion. X-Men was an amazing movie about alienation, It was a movie that actually had a message, and I love X-Men. And this is one of the things that's missing from all the mutant-related shows today. X-Men, when X-Men first came out, you could relate to those characters, and while they were still hunted, they were being hunted, they were still doing superhero things. They were still trying to stop Magneto from doing something. Now the problem with shows like Gifted, the thing on FX that I just hate, and all of today's mutants, it's just so one-sided, where all they are is hunted. There's being hunted by the government. There's no nuance. There's no heroism anymore. It's just dark, depressing, everything else. But when you watch X-Men has fun. It's funny, but it's also dark and it's serious. And they're doing superhero stuff, and it's realistic, and it's about something. This is one of the Blade trilogy. X-Men are why we have Marvel right now, and the main reason why we have Marvel right now is because of this X-Men 2. Now, you fanboys may want to crap all over Fox all you want, but you cannot deny that they got the X-Men casting perfect. And X2 is almost the perfect superhero film. It is one of the best. It's one of my top 3 or 4 superhero films of all time, and will probably remain there. And you can't deny the quality of X2. You just can't. If you do, you're just a fanboy. I'm sorry, you are. And I hate the fact that just because X-Men 3 came out and everyone hated X3, and I actually did not hate X3. I liked X3 for what it was. Everyone gets this whole tunnel vision where all of a sudden, just because X3 was bad, the entire thing is awful. Let's just throw out the entire franchise. Fox is evil. Fox is horrible because X3 was bad. And therefore, by extension, X1 and X2 are horrible movies. And they did the same thing with Spider-Man. I remember when the first Amazing Spider-Man came out, the entire world loved it. I was the only one on my island over here saying, wait a second, I don't like Amazing Spider-Man because I thought the Green Goblin was just horrible. I liked everything else about it, but the Green Goblin with Willem Dafoe was a horrible, horrible villain. And I caused so much crap for being the one critic in the world who didn't like it. But then S2 came out, Amazing Spider-Man 2 came out, and my God, where X-Men started here, S2 took it up to that level, Amazing Spider-Man 2 took it up way over here, and that's when Marvel was all of a sudden like, you know what, we got to start doing our own characters. And then right after that, that's when Iron Man came out. So for all you people who constantly crap on Fox and Sony and everything else, learn your history before you open your mouth again, because if it wasn't for Fox, if it wasn't for Sony, and the success of S2 and Amazing Spider-Man 2, the critical and financial success of those two movies, Marvel would not be Marvel today. That's all there is to it. That's a simple fact. Because at the time, Marvel was basically bankrupt and they were going to go out of business. But Fox and Sony saved Marvel. Let me repeat that. Fox and Sony saved Marvel. So yeah, give respect where respect is due. Just because you hate Amazing Spider-Man 3 or you hate X-Men 3, that does not mean the first two movies are suddenly horrible and trash and everything else. Grow up, people. So that ran over. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm up to these days. So we have a bunch of 4K reviews coming out. I want to review this Panasonic UB820, and I'm going to try to do some comparison videos to the Sony S700 over the next couple of days. I'm just not sure how to do it without running afoul of YouTube's copyrights. I may have to do it as another stand-up like this, and I'm trying to experiment with different formats to figure out what's going to be the easiest for me to do, because I sort of, excuse me, I'm going to take a cup of water, because I sort of do want to, I do kind of want to do this a little bit more and upload some more videos, but I'm not going to do it if it's such a headache and it's a pain, and I only like to upload videos when I actually have something to say. So anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.